Have you ever considered that you may be one of the few truly gifted individuals walking among humanity, and the world has been reacting to that long before you realized it? You've been asking yourself the wrong question. You keep asking, why are they doing this to me? You keep replaying every interaction in your head. You keep wondering if you said something wrong, if you acted wrong, if somehow you deserved what they've been doing to you. But here is what you need to understand. They did not target you because there was something wrong with you. They targeted you because there was something about you that made them deeply uncomfortable with themselves. And instead of confronting that discomfort, they made you the problem. So if you've been the victim of mockery, exclusion, gossip, coordinated hostility, or subtle psychological attacks designed to make you question yourself, you need to understand something. This was never random, and it was never really about you. Part 1, they saw something in you they couldn't control. The first reason they chose you is because you were not easily controlled. You were not constantly chasing approval. You did not shape your identity around pleasing people. You did not desperately seek acceptance from the group. And unhealthy social systems hate people like that. Because groups built on insecurity survive through invisible control. They reward obedience. They punish independence. And when they encountered you, they realized something immediately. Social pressure would not work on you the way it worked on everyone else. So what did they do? They increased the pressure. Because people who depend on controlling others become threatened when control stops working. That frustration became hostility, and you became the target. Part 2, your authenticity exposed their performance. They also targeted you because your authenticity exposed them. Most people spend years constructing social masks. They say what people want to hear. They become whatever the environment rewards. They hide parts of themselves to gain approval. But you were comfortable being genuine. And without realizing it, you became a mirror. Your presence reminded them how disconnected they had become from themselves. And people who abandon authenticity often resent those who still have it. Instead of becoming more honest, they began attacking the person, reminding them what honesty looks like. That person was you. The uncomfortable truth. Sometimes insecure people do not hate confidence. They hate being reminded that they surrendered their own. Part 3, you force them to confront their insecurity. They may have mocked you. They may have laughed at you. They may have tried making you feel inferior. But what they were really doing was protecting their own ego. Because something about you created comparison. Maybe you were disciplined. Maybe you were emotionally mature. Maybe you carried quiet confidence. Maybe you had integrity. Maybe you simply refused to become like them. And instead of asking themselves difficult questions, they chose the easier option. Attack the person, making them uncomfortable. This is what insecure groups often do. They do not confront weakness inside themselves. They search for someone else to project it onto, and then pretend you are the problem. Part 4, they turn the group against you because they needed validation. Pay attention to what happened next. One person was uncomfortable, but instead of processing it privately, they recruited others. The gossip started. The subtle comments began. The judgment spread. And suddenly multiple people were participating. Why? Because insecure people rarely act alone. They need witnesses. They need agreement. They need others to confirm their distorted narrative. Because deep down, they are terrified of being wrong. So they create group consensus. Not because truth is on their side, but because numbers give them emotional comfort. And once enough people join in, individual accountability disappears. The crowd begins acting like one mind. And that mind becomes cruel. Because people often do things in groups they would never have the courage to do alone. That is not strength. That is emotional cowardice disguised as confidence. Part 5. They wanted you to break so they could feel powerful. Here is what most targeted people never understand. They were not simply insulting you. They were studying your reactions. They wanted emotional access to you. They wanted to provoke anger, self-doubt, confusion, shame. They wanted to make you question yourself. Why? Because once they control your emotional state, they feel powerful. People who lack internal power often seek external control. So when they saw that their words affected you, it rewarded them, not because they were strong, but because making others suffer temporarily distracted them from suffering inside themselves. Remember that people who constantly seek to break others emotionally are usually revealing how fractured they already are internally. So understand what happened. They chose you because you were difficult to control. They targeted you because your authenticity exposed their performance. They mocked you because your presence triggered comparison. They gathered others because insecurity needs group validation. And they pushed harder because they wanted proof they could break you emotionally. But understand something even more important. Healthy people do not organize themselves around tearing others down. Emotionally secure people do not spend their time humiliating individuals who threaten their ego. People who constantly need a target are usually avoiding themselves. So stop asking, "What is wrong with me?" Ask something more accurate. What inside them required turning me into the villain? Because often, the people trying hardest to make you feel small are exposing how small they feel internally. And the moment you stop internalizing their projections, their power disappears. They did not target you because you were weak. They targeted you because your existence exposed everything they were unwilling to confront within themselves. Upgrade your mind